Hey guys, ThatMuckGamer back here for another video. And you might look at this video and go, wait, a waiver wire pickup? What's this? I thought this was on Fancy Truck Stop. Well guys, I'm actually going to combine all three channels. Now, we're going to see how good this is going to do, but pretty much the whole concept of what I'm doing is I'm going to do a waiver wire pickup show on Mondays on this channel, a recap and review of that certain week, and then the following week, I'm going to preview the games and say who I think are going to win and lose. And that's going to come out on Wednesdays. So other than those 2 days, you'll see nothing football related about fantasy football or about actual football. When it comes to my gaming channel, the House of Gaming, I'm going to private all the videos, all the franchise videos over there. And then I'm going to bring them over here and I'm upload them one at a time to this channel. You guys, I'm thinking about re-uploading the Bills game. I think I'm going to re-upload that Bills game. And it's going to be one game at a time. And we are going to upload it to this channel for however long before we catch up. And then, we'll be on the current season. So that's how it's going to go for this channel, guys. I'm going to combine all three of my channels together because I'd rather just have one fan base all under one channel. You guys definitely tell me how you like that down below. Do you love it? Do you hate it? You'll be seeing a franchise video, a Baltimore franchise video every single day. Again, you guys can tell me down below how you feel on that. Let's get started right away. People to pick up for week 5. Now that means week 5. Wait, no. Is it week 5 or week 6? I'm all kind of messed up, guys. Alright, it is week 6. Sorry, people to pick up for week 6. Now, the reason why I'm doing this on a Monday is because waivers usually go through on Tuesday or Wednesday morning. My league, it does it on Tuesdays morning. Actually, wait, no, my league, we don't have waivers. So, Tuesday, first come, first serve to pick up the players. So, actually, I think it's like 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning when you can pick up players. But most waivers are going to be either going through on Monday morning, or it's going to be, not Monday morning, Tuesday morning or Wednesday morning. So quarterbacks to pick up are going to be Brian Hoyer and Dak Prescott. What more can I say about Hoyer, okay? He's Chicago's quarterback, if you guys are wondering. Jay Cutler goes down with an injury. Hoyer steps in. Ever since he stepped in, other than week 2, I believe week 2 he didn't play the whole game. Week 3, we have 317 yards with 2 passing touchdowns, 2 rushing yards. 302 passing yards with 2 touchdowns week 4. Last week, I had him as my quarterback. 397 yards and 2 touchdowns. I started him because I had Cam Newton, and Cam Newton went down. Guys, I'm thinking about starting him next week against Jacksonville. I don't know if I want to start Cam Newton anymore. Cam Newton is so unreliable. And if you take those 2 quarterbacks and you compare them together, Cam had 2 good weeks the first 2 weeks of the season, but the last 2 weeks have been goose eggs with 13 and 15 points, when Hoyer's out here scoring 18 and 20 points the last 2 weeks. So, 19 and 23 points the last 2 weeks. So I'm definitely going to roll with Hoyer maybe for the next couple weeks. I love what he's doing, and I'm not messing around to change him. Jordan Howard looks amazing. Think about that, guys. Howard is the best halfback in football. But if you do have Howard, I would recommend you get Jeremy Langford, because most likely the person that Jeremy Langford cut Jeremy Langford to pick up Howard. Didn't cut him to pick up Howard. They probably cut Langford because they were done with him. You guys might want to have him, because when Langford comes back, the coach said he's not going to be a running back by committee, and Howard kind of won the job. But I wouldn't trust that. I really wouldn't. Next one we're going to look at is going to be running backs. The 4 running backs I suggest you pick up are going to be Jalen Richard. Now, what we saw last week was pretty much the Raiders. Latavius Murray wasn't in the game because he had a toe injury. We had DeAndre Washington. We had Jalen Richard. And we had that Jaquaz guy. I forget what his name is. Not Jaquaz Rogers, but something like that. Now, we saw that, DeAndre Washington, the guy I thought was going to do amazing, had about 5 points in fantasy. No big deal. These are all standard formats, by the way. But Rashad had 9 points, and then the other guy had 7 points. So, what to take away from all this is Jalen Rashad, in my eyes, is the most explosive running back out of all of them. So, I would recommend you pick him up just because of his explosiveness. Now, again, DeAndre Washington is the guy the coach drafted, and he also is kind of the guy the coach wants to be in. He doesn't owe anything to Latavius Murray, and he wants DeAndre Washington in the game. So I recommend. Of course, I'm kind of thinking that DeAndre is picked up in your league. If he's not, maybe pick him up. But I don't know. I just like Jalen Rashad. I think he's a very explosive back. Next guy we have here is going to be James White. Now, when it comes to James White, the reason why he's so amazing is because Dion Lewis is going to be out for the next 2 or 3 weeks, I think. It's because he had knee surgery last year, and I believe he has to miss a certain amount of weeks this year. So he's going to be out for a little bit more. James White had, I believe, 56 receiving yards with 30 rushing yards. And the thing you got to look at with him is LeGarrette Blount is going to get everything near the goal line. That's just plain and simple. James White's not going to touch the ball unless they're near the goal line. But what James White is so good at is he fits that, Dion Lewis type of role, the pass catching back. And what we saw so, awesome with Dion Lewis was he was able to break away tackles. He was able to make a lot of plays on the ball. And that's what James White is going to fill in. And now with Tom Brady back, Tom's going to be throwing 300, 400 yards a game. What does that mean? Well, somebody has to eat. We saw Chris Hogan eat this week. And, of course, that's just something that's going to happen. But James White, Martellus Bennett had a couple touchdowns. James White is gonna get his, just desserts, I guess you could say. Next guy we have here is gonna be Matt Adiasa. Most likely, everyone had Jerick McKinnon in your league, and you're sitting there like, what do I do? Pick up Matt Adiasa. The reason why I want you to pick him up is he had 2 touchdowns. Now, the reason why he had 2 touchdowns is because for some reason Minnesota loves handing the ball off to Matt Adiasa near the goal line. The reason why is because Matt Adiasa doesn't fumble the ball. I think he fumbled the ball one time in his whole career or something like that. It was a crazy stat. He doesn't fumble it. The man is pretty much a power back to the point that he's going to run the ball 9 times for 6 yards at the end of the game, get that first down, Vikings win. And the reason why is because he is trustworthy. He's not going to fumble the ball. So that's the biggest thing about that. Next guy we have here is Bilal Powell. And although the Steelers did kind of crush the Jets in that game, what we saw was Powell had 5 fantasy points, and we saw Matt Forte, I believe, had 7. So that does mean that Powell is getting, a little bit more worked in there. And again, I just think, in my opinion, that, Matt Forte is going to go down. And if Matt Forte goes down, although Powell is not an amazing runner between the tackles, he's not going to get, the most amazing thing ever between the tackles running. What he's really good at is catching. And yeah, Forte's good at catching too, don't get me wrong, but if Forte goes down, Powell's your guy. Definitely recommend go getting him. Correction to this list, if Chris Hogan is on your free agency, in my league I picked him up 3 weeks ago, but if he is in your free agency, you go and pick him up right now. Chris Hogan's number 1 on this list. But most likely, either the person with the best waiver claim or someone already has Chris Hogan. So you're not getting Chris Hogan pretty much. So what does that mean? Well, there are some other guys you want to go after. Davante Adams is going to be one of them. Davante Adams, yes, he had, last night he had a really good night at, he had 85 yards and a touchdown. He had, a bye week before that. Before that, he had 23 yards and a touchdown. And he had a goose egg week 2, but week 1 he looked good. Davante Adams is scoring because of the fact that Rodgers is throwing touchdowns to pretty much everyone. And the beautiful thing about Rodgers is he likes to spread the ball. And when he likes to spread the ball, it's going to be a great day for everyone involved. So that's the reason why go get Adams. Adams is the 3rd receiver there, and he's going to be used plenty. Next guy we have here is going to be Tennessee's player, which is going to be Rashad Matthews. Now, the beautiful thing about Rashad Matthews is kind of what Tajay Sharp going into this year, everyone loved. He gets a lot of targets. He had, or not a lot of targets, like, he's going to get targets pretty much. He caught 4 receptions last week. He was only targeted 4 times. But what he got was 32 yards and a touchdown. The week before that, he had 82 yards on 2 targets, 32 yards, 40 yards. And again, this is not like, the dire need receiver. But I just feel like Rashad Matthews is going to get open. He's going to have those weeks where he's kind of a boom or bust player, where he could get those end zone targets, get a touchdown, and bam, now he's fantasy relevant. So I definitely think that's someone to look at. Now, this next guy we have here is Terrence Williams. I recommend him for the near future. With Dez Bryant out with a hairline fracture, and Dak Prescott, as we saw this game, targeting with Terrence Williams, actually targeting him, Dak is going to have to throw to somebody. And he likes Cole Beasley, he likes Jason Witten, and the reason why is because they're safe, reliable targets. Terrence Williams, there's got to be a connection going. They're going to form a connection. Terrence is pretty much that number 1 receiver, replacing Dez Bryant. And, of course, there's no truly replacing Dez Bryant because Dez Bryant's a monster. But the fact of the matter is, Terrence is going to get his. He's going to get some targets. He might get some end zone targets. And with Dak actually throwing passing touchdowns, it's going to be good. Now, of course, he did get a rushing touchdown yesterday because Dak always does that. But at least he did also get a passing. I don't know. I think, did he throw a touchdown yesterday? I'm pretty sure Dak threw a touchdown yesterday. I know he actually throws them now. Yeah, he had 1 passing touchdown yesterday. I knew it. He actually throws touchdowns now. Before, he never threw touchdowns. Anyway, and what I mean by that is he refused to, he never passed the ball in the end zone. For some reason, the first couple of weeks, he literally threw a pass to Cole Beasley that he fell down at the 1-yard line, and then he ran in the next play later with Dak Prescott, ran in a touchdown. They would not, for some reason, he could not pass a touchdown. He could not throw a touchdown. It was so weird. But next guy we have here is going to be Quickie Enunwa. Now, that is not spelled incorrectly. His name is Quincy Enunwa, but what I call him Quickie is because Quickie is amazing. Now, with Eric Decker being out, the biggest thing you got to look at is Quincy is getting targets. And because Quincy is that number 3 receiver / their tight end. Now, they did pick up ASJ, Austin Severian Jenkins. I'm going to check real fast what he did this week. I doubt he did anything. Yeah, he had 17 yards on 2 catches. Whatever. Quickie is the one you're going to want. Quickie is actually getting the targets. He's getting down the field. And last week we saw he had 7 targets, 4 receptions for 51 yards. Before that, against the Seahawks, he had 6 for 60 yards, 4 for 37, and he had 6 receptions for 92 yards, 7 receptions for 54 yards and a touchdown. Biggest thing here, 4 receptions, 6, 4, 6, 7. On those weeks, he had 7 targets, 10 targets, 7 targets, 9 targets, 10 targets. What does that mean? He's getting targeted a crap ton. And what that really translates to is you want him. And the fact that he's quick as all heck. The man is very quick. I'm just going to say. The man outruns defenders. The man is going to get open. The man's going to get his targets. And yeah, I know it's Fitzmagic. I can't believe he can't throw. I know Fitzmagic can't throw, guys. I know he's trash at throwing. I know he's threw 10 interceptions in 2 weeks. And I know that. But the fact of the matter is, if they get down by enough points, like they're probably going to every week now, garbage time is perfect for these players. We saw this back when we saw Allen Robinson and Allen Hurns last year with Blake Bortles. Blake Bortles was a top 10 quarterback in fantasy. In real life, he was trash. Why? Because of the fact garbage time made him great. he could throw 4 touchdowns in a game that they would lose 42-35. It was ridiculous, but that's how it worked. Allen Robinson and Allen Hurns always got their touchdowns. This year is not the same as last year, obviously, so it's not working out the best. But still, the fact of the matter is, they're doing great, guys. Quincy Enunwa is going to get his targets. I would say he is a flex play, maybe at best. If Decker's not playing, like Decker has some, injury issues, he's been out the last couple weeks, I say Quickie is going to be a wide receiver 2, solid wide receiver 2. If, Decker plays, Quickie moves to a flex spot or a wide receiver 3 spot. Let's go on to the tight ends. Now, when it comes to tight ends, the one we have, I actually misspelled his name by accident, but we have Martellus Bennett. It's supposed to be an E after the T. But the only reason that he might be on free agency, and again, I don't 100% think he always will be, but he did have a bad week 3, and people might not, might have dropped him because they're like, oh, well, I'm not going to trust this because he's just Gronk's backup, and, they had a quarterback problem. Well, if he was on your free agency, guys, be reassured because Tom Brady's back. What does Tom Brady bring to the table? Well, Tom Brady brung 3 touchdowns and 67 yards on 6 targets to Martellus Bennett last week. Yeah, he's good. And Tom likes him. And when Tom likes somebody, guys, what does that mean? You should like him too. Because Tom's going to give him touchdowns. Next guy we have here is going to be Hunter Henry. Yes, guys, San Diego tight end. He had 74 yards and a touchdown last week. Week before that, he had 61 yards and a touchdown, 72 yards week before that, and he fumbled the ball. Week 2, he did nothing. Week 1, he had 20 yards. The biggest thing was, do not start Hunter Henry if Antonio Gates plays. Well, guys, Antonio Gates played last week. He had a touchdown. He had a touchdown on 4 targets and 30 yards. He also fumbled the ball, and Hunter Henry outplayed him. Guys, to best explain this, Antonio Gates is old, and no shots at the man. The man will be a Hall of Fame. He would definitely be a Hall of Famer, but he's old, and the fact of the matter is he's not as great as he used to be. Hunter Henry is a young rookie talent that's going to come in and going to take over the spot. And he's going to get the touchdowns. He's going to get the receptions. I love Phillip Rivers because I think Phillip Rivers can, although the offense has injuries, their defense has injuries, I think Phillip Rivers can get the ball down the field. I think he can be very productive. So I like this Hunter Henry. Let's go on to the next guy, Dennis Pitta. Dennis Pitta is Joe Flacco's safety blanket. Pitta's going to get a lot of targets a game. That's just plain and simple. He's going to get 6-7 targets a game. He's going to get an end zone targets. And the reason why is because he's Joe Flacco's safety blanket. Last week we saw Crockett Gilmore score a touchdown. But honestly, Dennis Pitta is going to get those deeper shots down the middle of the field. He's going to be, when Joe needs to check down, when Joe needs to go across the middle of the field, when Joe needs to do this, and this, Dennis Pitta is his best friend. And that's why his best friend should be on your team. Anyway, guys, that was the waiver wire pickups for week 6. Make sure you check out Wednesday. Wednesday is going to be my game reviews of week 5 and previews of week 6, where I give my predictions on who I think are going to win and lose. And then Thursday will be my starts and sits for the week. Who you should start, who you should sit for fantasy. Thanks so much, and remember to comment down below and tell me how do you like this, me combining like 3 channels in one. Definitely tell me down below. See you guys in the next one. Peace out.